Let's get that shit out of there. Yo, Stabby.
Elsa, he's frozen.
Oh man. Hey, look. What's up, good folks? As you know, this show is always live, so sometimes the shit gonna come in a little funny, sometimes it ain't. But we here. So we're gonna get this thing going. I still gotta do the intro though, no matter what. Yo. Oh, wait a minute. We gotta step back. Let's see. Let's see if we can get a what to do in. Step. Oh Lord. He freeze and come back and sweet dick. The man freezes and come back and sweet dick Willie. Okay, well, hey. Big nasty and sweet dick Willie in the building. Hey, Step, would you
Oh, this shit tripping up.
I got you. All right, Step, would you do us a yeah.
You sound like a robot.
We hear you, bro. I'm waiting for you to lead us off with your famous line. Step, you still there, man?
He's good. The fan going around.
Well, it looked like it might be up to me.
Go ahead.
All right, Step. Hey, anyway, what it do, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Fuck Your Opinion, the podcast with your man, Toucan Dan, my man Rock, a.k.a. Big Nasty, and Step, a.k.a. Sweet Dick Willie, a.k.a. Ghost Protocol, because we get the Phantom.
A.k.a. GoFundMe, get this man some internet.
Go fund me internet.
I don't know what's down there in Maryland.
Hey.
I don't know what cable provider, internet provider. Get him something because his shit is horrific.
Oh, no. All right, you back again. Let's try it again.
This dude acting like he is 1999.
Now Step's is something on and the funniest thing is Step got more gadgets in that motherfucker than you can imagine than the law.
He sound like he got Houston. We have a problem.
Inspector Gadget. Step got 100 gadgets in there. He can tell you everything that came out 2021, 2022. He got all the gadgets.
Well, he should go get that damn rose. Is what he should go get. Then put that shit on his internet.
Yeah.
If y'all don't know about the rose, y'all better go get the rose. Make your woman happy.
Oh Lord. Oh, okay. First I thought you was doing some stuff like what I just hey yo. You know one thing I ain't really get to talk about. I ain't talking about that Kamal Bell Bill Cosby joint that did you see that, Rock?
What was it?
The Kamal Bell Bill Cosby. We need to talk about Bill Cosby. It's on, I think, Netflix.
Okay.
I think it's Netflix or HBO. It's on one of them streaming fucking services. But anyway, it's called We Need to Talk About Bill Cosby. It's pretty dope. It's insightful to the motherfucker, but it's all right. But anyway, welcome. Sometimes I'm sorry, folks and fans of the show. We just get to talking about shit what we want to talk about and really don't get to talk to y'all because the show is about talking about the toughest topics and things that are going on today. And sometimes it just turns out to be conversations between brothers because we live in different parts of the country and different states. And we just like to get caught up on shit that goes on. Like I said, usually I'm going to start off with this. Like I said, I don't even know if we did the intro, but we're going to do it from the top.
From the top. Right?
From the tippy top. All right. Here it goes. Drum roll. Bow. What it do? Live from the pit that don't give a shit. It's your man Toucan Dan. It's Rocky, a.k.a. Big Nasty. Like I said, Step. He having technical difficulties. And Don, he's just not going to be with us tonight. But maybe if he got a little bit of time or whatever, we always catch up with Big Don. You know, we like to keep it fresh so you never know who you're going to see up on here. Sometimes we might have some surprise guests. Whatever, just buckle in. We ain't gonna take too much of your time, but we definitely gonna talk our shit here on this show. Matter of fact, hold on, I ain't even get the turn. Gotta get my tree. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, if you have small children at home, they shouldn't be watching this. But one thing you gotta know about Toucan Dan is before I do the show, I like to get in my tree.
getting your treat, man. Getting your treat.
That's called.
And that's why I don't do it.
I'm getting some of the air out my lungs to help me levitate a little bit. You know, sometimes that shit weigh you down. Sometimes you gotta just breathe. This
kids, don't do what he's doing. All right, don't do what he's doing.
well, without this, it's always good to take a deep breath. I'm sure you can agree with that part, Rock.
Absolutely.
Without the tree, it's always good to take a deep
Woo-sa.
woosah. I just like to woosah. I just like to burn my, my spiritual sage for the inside. I like to get the inside spiritual cleanse. Now we begin. Wait a minute. Oh, one of my favorite folks is on here.
Hopefully his internet is better than the other dude.
Oh, Professor Sims.
You know what? His internet better be where he works at.
That's Professor Sims. He don't never get. Professor Sims always kind of correct. That's one thing we're gonna know. What's happening, Sims?
What up? What up?
Hey, nothing. We just trying to get together, having a little raggedy start here, trying to get your brother Step Lover to his name for the night episode of Sweet Dick Willie. We trying to get him.
That part-time ass nigga, man, let him be where he at.
We trying to get his internet together.
His internet.
Yeah, I don't know. He needs to talk to.
My
he
man
needs to talk to his technical team.
He acting like his internet from like way before AOL days.
We got to get Big Step to talk to his technical team. He said he got his white slave in the building.
Reason, gargling.
You got to dial into his shit or whatever.
He said he got a white slave. He need to put him on the rooftop with and tell him hold an antenna with some aluminum foil attached
Point
to
him
it.
in the right direction.
You know what I'm saying? So we can get this together. Huh?
I said, tell him to use that slave he got.
That's what I said. Put him on the roof with some aluminum foil and an antenna. Tell him But anyway, I'm sure he'll jump back in. But yeah, I ain't gonna take up too much of your time, fellas. I just got a few topics tonight. We always get into some kind of conversation, regardless one way or the other, either fucking way. But I'm just gonna run through it here because some people might gotta work in the morning, so ain't got time for no bullshit. Especially the folks at home, who watch this on our wonderful Fuck Your Opinion podcast, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever fucking parts of social media you see us on, check us out. We don't, and if you want to be on a lot,
we're gonna be on Pornhub soon.
Pornhub, and also to those who watch this is a live and interactive fucking show. So if you want to come on the podcast, say a few things. You can say what you want, but visually, let's keep it clean for the kids, for everybody else.
No tallywhackers.
No tallywhackers. I mean,
listen, I ain't gonna front. You want to come on here and show your boop, boop, boops, with lady parts? We ain't got no problem with that.
I was gonna say we gotta have camel toe restrictions just for the FCC. We gotta have camel toe restrictions. No, no cucumber lumps, gentlemen. Just come on here and speak your truth. We want people to let you know that this is an interactive podcast. If you see the link, hit the link. Come on in. We're gonna pre-screen you, but you can definitely say what the fuck you want to go say, and we're gonna let you know our opinion on it. And if we don't agree with you, fuck your opinion.
That's it. Let's rock.
Let me get into some of these topics here. Wait a minute. I have to pass my.
Dude, I don't know how often y'all switch out phones.
What'd you say?
When you switch your phone, dude, there's so much shit you got to do. I mean, it's like an all-day thing signing in.
That's why I try not to.
You got to go to Verizon when they open. Like, you got to clean at least before lunch.
Yeah, it took like an hour and a half just to transfer right there.
Yeah.
Then you got to sign in everything and all that. I was like, man, what the
you got to tell people when you transferring your phone, you got to talk to people like you making a doctor's appointment. Like, yeah, man, I got to go in the morning, man. I got to go in there 9 o'clock in the morning, man.
I'm like, hey, man, I ain't doing nothing. The phone gonna be off for a little bit.
Yeah.
At Best Buy, I got witnesses and shit.
Right? Tell your
That
job,
Barry
man. I'll be
Patel
late.
that had the damn. He said he was jacking off at the newspaper. Like, look at the
I'm telling you, man. That's how you can call your job. Like, yeah, man, I'm getting my phone transferred over. They'll let you use some personal time. Well, go ahead, man. Go ahead and take the day off. We know how that is.
that shit takes forever.
So, yeah, no bullshit. No bullshit. But let's get into some of these stories. First of all, because Rock, you said you at your restaurant. If the viewers and people don't know, the brother Rock has it's not a vegan restaurant, but he has a restaurant that serves great food to many alternative tastes. So just because you see a brother with an apron on, don't mean he got ribs and candy yams all the time. Okay,
That's true.
yeah, hey Rock, you know what I'm saying? I want to open up on something like this because I don't want to be like, oh, they going to a black man. He just want me to come buy some barbecue.
So right. I'll throw a quick story at you, man. I'm putting this whole thing together. I'm trying to get different parts, equipment. So a brother actually had an ice machine that I wanted to, I'm trying to get a price on it. And I said, just like, well, he didn't have a price on it. So the question is, how much is the ice machine? Man, you ain't trying to buy it. I'm like, I would love to try to buy it if you tell me what the price is. We get into a little altercation. Then he going to say out of his mouth, man, nobody buys soul food anyway. You'll be out of business.
Hey, bro. See, that's where violence, man. That's when it becomes. That's when somebody had to restrain you and say,
"Yeah,
hey,
man." So I'm petty. I'm petty as a motherfucker. So I still had his, our back and forth exchange through Facebook Messenger. So I messaged him not too long ago and said, 3 years in, bitch, and it still ain't soul food. So.
Hey, and see, I'm trying to rock. I'm a visionary when it comes to shit like that. I know anytime somebody see a black man with bald head, a salt and pepper beard, and an apron, they think he must make some. Now, not to say you don't make some mighty fine barbecue.
You better know how to make macaroni and cheese.
Right. Not to say you're not able to do it, but I'm just saying is people automatically assume that's what you're doing.
This is true. That's what they do. But then when they get here and again, even going backwards a little bit, my customer clientele, bro, is 97% Caucasian women. That's what my thing is.
One thing they do is one thing they love. One other thing they love about black men is their cooking.
They love something else too, but I can say that.
What's a black? Let me tell you something. I know you always say keep your white women away from black men on the lower extremities. But one thing you got to keep your wife away from is a black man's cooking. That'll steal your wife quicker than anything else. Because one thing I know about women is they will cheat with their stomachs before they cheat with anything else.
So someone in the comments, we don't know your name, Caucasian women want that. Never mind.
That's what it said. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let's go. Caucasian. Hey, listen. Seasoning. That's all I can say is.
They want the damn raisins taken out of potato salad. That's what they want.
Right. You know what I'm saying? White women ain't always got to cheat with their vaginas. They can cheat with their appetites as well.
There you go.
That's like I said, we equal on here, ladies and gentlemen. We ain't gonna get too far into it, but hey, I got you. Yeah, I feel you on that. I can't cook. I can't. Well, you in the doghouse either way. Then with that, bro, you got to work on that. That's a skill. As a man, especially in 2022, as a man, you got to have skills. Women expecting us to throw down and more than just a bed.
I'm gonna tell you, man. One of these things that I've noticed in this industry is that people order out a lot. Like ordering out used to be, I just remember it being a Friday thing or a Saturday thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now people order out what it seems to be every single day.
Right. Hey, the pandemic has changed the way people eat.
Huh?
What you say, Sam?
I said they got it like a budget item. Mothers ain't cooking. They probably got a food go out to eat budget.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, man. This generation, 1000% though, they don't, and they don't care the price. They don't care that I get people who order a shake, a one item deal, and they end up paying for the shake itself a certain price, but then get charged like another $9 for somebody to bring your shake.
They will pay
I don't get it.
$17 for a $5 shake and will not mind.
Right. I don't get it, but I'm thankful for them. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm telling you, many conversations I have with the little young dudes in my job. I'm like, dude, y'all know how much money y'all waste with this damn. First of all, y'all lazy to go pick it up, so y'all pay another $5 for that.
For DoorDash.
Crazy. Yeah,
hey, Sam, and this is the crazy shit about this. The crazy shit about that. You will actually, even if you know, I'm sure there's times where you bring your lunch to work, but those times when you don't, you will leave. Go get your food, come back, and they'll still be waiting for the fucking order. You'll come back and start eating. Man, your food ain't here yet. Nah, it'll be here about 5 minutes. Like,
they be looking at them on their GPS, and you got around the corner.
You in the building, ate your lunch, enjoyed a nap, read a little something, and they still waiting for DoorDash to pull up.
And that's because the DoorDash dude, from what I have learned and gathered, has come to Rock's Kitchen, picked up a meal, gone over to Lynch's, picked up something else, gone over to Halligan's, picked up something else, and then decides to go do all these, he's trying to get as much money. I get it. I ain't hating on him. But at the end of the day, I want my food to get to my customer 1, 2, 3.
Right. Because heat is also an ingredient.
Yeah. Hey, look, here's the other thing, and I'll leave it at this. I used to fight with the DoorDash people, man, and the Grubhub and them, that didn't come in with the heated insulated bags for your food, right? Because I want my food to get to my customer, like you said. I want it warm. I stopped fighting because the customers don't care. The customers get it, and then they throw it in the microwave.
Yeah.
Hey, they're used to it being cold when it gets to them.
My daughter will eat Chick-fil-A, and I said, I said, you DoorDash Chick-fil-A? She said, proudly, yeah. I said, those waffle fries are about the same consistency as the straw that you drinking the lemonade with by the time the car pull up. She like, I like soggy fries. I'm like, ooh, that is the exact opposite of French fries to show up cold and soggy.
Yeah,
that is the whole, they're not even.
They don't care.
But you know what? Let's get into this. Then this is what I was talking. Something I was wanted to get into anyway. Speaking, let me see. Gotta get my shit together here, fellas. Give me 1 second. But I seen this article, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Tell me what you think, especially Rock as a restaurant owner. Let's see if I can get this shit out.
The job I had before Amazon, that job had no benefits. And at Amazon, they start that day that you sign on the dotted line.
One day we'll have a show without commercials, but since we borrow our stories from other people, what you see is what you get. So quit your goddamn complaining. But anyway, this story here is about White Castles has currently started. This is 100 White Castles locations to get robot fry cooks that cook faster and make more food. White Castle miso products will install Flippy 2 fry stations at 100 standalone locations. So basically, I mean, this is going to be put into effect. We don't really have White Castles here in DC, which sucks.
Ain't got nothing to do with White Castles, my brother. It's going to be whatever restaurant that you have near you will be adopting the same thing. So I get a lot of heat with this of how I say it. I guess how I articulate it. That whole $15 an hour living wage thing, I get it. I 1,000%, 1,000,000% understand it and get it. The however is that because you're not incentivized to, let's say, work at White Castles and you're on fries and that's what you want to do, that does not mean that that's a career.
Right.
Right? So that's where my situation with that $15 an hour standard living wage comes into play, that the fry guy is not a career. So you demanding to be paid X amount, $15, whatever it is, $20. Guess what's happening? You are pricing yourself out of a job because companies are saying, I can't sit here in good faith and good caution, pay a 16, 17-year-old kid that I have on fries $15 an hour. So let me replace that child or person with the machine. Let me replace the front end person who's complaining or saying that being a cashier is a career. That's their choice. So let me replace them with the kiosk. Let me replace, when you go to the grocery store, those people at the cashier and have you, Mr. Customer, be your own checkout and not have to pay that $15+ an hour. So you're complaining about standard of living, but you're talking about places where it's an entry level position. It's an entry level position.
Let's check this out, Rock.
You're going to be replaced with Flippy 2.
I guess this is a commercial for Flippy. Wow. Did you see that? You didn't even get to see it, Rock.
I don't need to see it. I've been looking it up. I've been looking for a replacement for stuff over here. I don't need to see it.
So wait a minute.
I know what I'm looking to do. I'm knowing how to try to get around the whole $15 an hour stuff.
Damn, I thought, you know what? That tricks me out because I thought that you was going to be, hey, Rock, I thought that you would be against it and more for people actually doing the jobs than the machine.
No, because what's happened is people have, and again, I do understand the flip side of it, but what I'm trying to say to those who are going to say to me, well, it's standard of living, Rock, and how are they supposed to have a living wage? This is how. I went into Verizon when I worked there at the bottom, climbed my way to the top because the bottom to me was not a career. A bottom to me was the entry level of which they were paying bullshit, right? But as I got climbing, went to the next stage, then I started earning my living wage. To me, that's living wage. That's how you earn. Not sit there and say, I want to be on fries. I don't want to do anything else, but I want you to pay me to be on fries. It don't work that way.
I agree with that. I feel like a lot of, like one thing, even when you see the commercials where they be like, "Oh, you become a nurse in 3 years." I'm like, I don't want that damn nurse.
Right.
I want that nurse that had to go to college, that had to do all them years in training. I want that motherfucker. I don't want that 3-year nurse. So, I mean, it's so many. It's like the world's just full of shortcuts now. Everybody trying to find a quick. And I agree with that. Like, you got to work. People just want stuff given to them sometimes. Like, they don't care about their performance. Like, I deal with this all the time. I'm like, dude, you're asking to be something that you're not ready to be yet because you're not putting the time into it. I said the time. So entry-level jobs, as he said it, are not supposed to be jobs that you can just live your life on. Like, that's not a reality. You should have to work your way up to those positions. Those entry-level jobs are for the little 15-year-olds that want to come in there and work while they're in school. That's what the fries and the burger person is. That's what that shit is.
And 1,000%, man. I mean, I just, again, when I came up, when I was, I'd always prided myself for not working at a restaurant or fast food. Now I own one, right? But I always prided myself saying I never did that. I went to ShopRite and I did pharmacy and I, did that stuff. When I was coming up, man, everybody went to McDonald's first. Everybody was, working the drive-through, working the front end, doing all that stuff. Not knocking them. those were entry level jobs. How dare people kind of like one of those ransom things, talking about computers, right? Where they send ransom notes. That's what the people have done, is saying, I'm not going to work at McDonald's unless you pay me $15 an hour. So McDonald's says, oh, okay, all right, we're going to do that. So as we pay you the 15, we're going to eliminate your fucking job. We're going to eliminate the amount of people that we need at the front end by having those self-service freaking kiosks that they have that are at just about almost all McDonald's. I know they are up here. I don't know about down there.
Yeah, we have them here.
Right. So now it eliminates me having to have 5 or 6 cashiers where you just boop, 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 put your card in, boom. Now you wait for one person to bring you food. Now the people in the back, what's happened, McDonald's sees, hey, look what's happened with the kiosks. I wonder if this Flippy 2 is going to work. Now they're going to go get Flippy 2. And then my man who wanted to be on fries at $15 an hour, my man, thank you for coming. We're going to promote you at this time to customer. You're out.
Wow. Promote you to customer. I like that. Well, you know what? You know me, I'm always a devil advocate for either one, because I've worked fast food. I worked as a supervisor and shift supervisor for KFC. I worked for Chick-fil-A, and even though their jobs is not considered seriously skilled, crafted jobs, they still are labor-intensive jobs to a certain extent, and it's not. I would say more of the inflation and the prices of the way of how people survive these days has changed, not more so the skill set, because I agree with, as a business owner, I agree with you, Rock. If you become more of a costly liability to me as a business owner, I don't really need you around. You know what I mean? And, then you, like I said, you have the other people like, I would say, maybe immigrants or people that don't have really the education or the form when they first start in their career paths in employment, that they still have to make a living wage. And because of the prices of gas and freaking a box of cereal was like $6, I always look at it as, if you can literally go to a grocery store, buy a loaf of bread, milk, and cereal and spend $15, and that's it, just for that, then $15 an hour isn't too much for people based on the price of the dollar in which you live. Because you live in New York, which is a lot higher than here in DC.
Right.
Like Step was saying about finding a job in New York, like, you guys, gas is maybe 2 or 3, not just cents, $2 or $3 higher than the national average might be $3.59. You go to upstate New York, you might be paying $4.67. So that
$4.15.
Right. So so that $15 an hour, like I said, I do understand, but it still is weighted, because I don't think it's based on more of people's greed. I think it's this
that's what I said. I get it on both sides. I do. I mean, at the same token, though, when you look at that $15 going up, when you look at those stimulus packages that everybody got, you think these people ain't gonna get their motherfucking money back?
Yeah.
You don't think they find a way to get that $600 that they gave you 3 or 4 times? How to get that back? Yeah, they're getting it back. They're getting it back at the pump. They're getting it back all over the place. Export, import, all that bullshit. They're getting their money back. So what good is you making $15 an hour when all that shit's getting pushed back anyway? Yeah. And now we've all seen inflation goes like this, and then it steadies. It never does this. It never goes up and then comes back down.
Right.
Like I hadn't bought milk because I haven't drank whole milk in damn near 20 years. So I haven't had to buy milk, and my wife sent me out for a gallon. I was like, a gallon of milk is $5?
Yeah.
Dude,
hey, Rock, I switched to almond milk just because of that. I was like, if I got to pay $6, hey Sam, I said if I got to pay $6 to shit all morning, if I gotta pay $6 to take a shit half the morning, I'm going to go ahead and switch it over to almond milk, because $4 saves me a lot of pain, headache, toilet paper, wipes.
I couldn't believe it, man. But you know, I still firmly just say and believe the entry level people. It's that's not what it's about.
Hey, but you know what? And Sim said something. Both of you, people have to look at these positions as now. You can make them a career. That's not to say that you can't, but it does have to be some kind of incentive to make it a career. Because we all know, and our grandparents, parents, and people before us, if you never heard this before, fuck your opinion, viewers and fans. A job is not a career. It's two different things.
Correct.
You can have a job because you are an adult and at some point responsible for yourself. Even as a teenager, you are responsible for yourself and your own amenities. So you have to get a job because people should not be able to. I mean, people should not have to take care of you to a certain extent. Now, a career is something that you, as Rock and Sims are saying. You know me, I'm always trying to make it in layman's terms, but a career is something that you actually put time and then you invest sweat equity, and so you eventually see a return. Because we all know a career is something that you don't always see an immediate return on your investment. You know, I mean, Sims, you worked in military, and like I said, Rock, you've been in the restaurant business. You don't open a restaurant and the first French fry, because the first French fry does not put you in the positive.
Right.
You're still negative.
You're in the negative with that first French fry. Trust me.
That first customer that comes into your restaurant does not put you in the positive. So it's an investment. So it's understood. But like I said, White Castle, I'm just a little leery about robots cooking my food. I mean,
it's coming. Listen, I've seen trade shows, been to different events. There is waiters, and I forget what the waiter is called. There's all types of verbiage. They put tracks in restaurants, put little tracks under the carpet, if you will, and you program this thing to say table 1, 6, whatever it is. The food comes up, bing, they put it on a tray, table 6. It navigates and moves through the restaurant, doesn't bump into anything. If a chair is in the way, it'll find an alternate route to get to the thing. It finds your customer, and then your customer just turns around, takes food off of the tray, put it on their table, and they eat.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, they have rest. I said I was a football player. Somebody showed a robot delivering food at a hotel. He just basically opened the door and his food was there. He took it out the warming tray with the little robot, closed the door, and you don't even have to leave a tip. So
and again, and I use the word because it's because you're forcing the hand of corporate America, of not even corporate America, of small business, big, medium business. You're forcing the hand to say, how can I save? I'll throw this at you, fellas. When I first started here, chicken a case, 40 pounds, cost maybe $52, $53. Today, that chicken, same 40-pound case, is $120.
It's a chicken shortage, man.
Right, but what I'm saying though is now as a business owner,
how can you cut
some of that?
Right.
Where can I cut some of that? So I'm trimming that by getting, in a sense, rid of employees.
I'm on both sides. I'm on both sides on it though, because inflation is something that our country doesn't do a good job. Like other countries, believe it or not, their politicians they're not the ones that judge how much they get paid. They have like what's it called? How we have unions. They have like almost a union in their government that raises their pay with inflation. We don't do that. Our government tries to cheapskate all the way through, and we inflate, but we don't bring up pay with inflation. Because technically, if we did, everybody minimum wage would be over $20-something right now.
All right, absolutely.
That's how bad we're below it. But since our government does it that way, just like Rock said, you fuck around and have some $40 and it triples in price, you got to be able to cut your money somewhere. So I mean, it's like it's just one of them things that I think this country just sets us up. I think we set ourselves, not us, but the government. They set us up pretty bad, dog. Like, because technically we don't get no. I don't understand how minimum wage. I mean, some minimum wage is still at $7-something, dog.
Right. That to me is
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
Dog?
Right.
What can you do with $7, dog?
Right.
He can't even get a college.
I mean, my daughter, my baby girl, she's working. I can't name drop, but she's working at a pizza, one of the well-known pizza franchises. And because we in
Popeyes downtown, you good?
Nah, but we in the district. Even if you work, you working at rat, because we have the minimum wage now in DC of $15 an hour. So you can work in that rat-infested Popeyes, selling the rat-infested Popeyes, whatever, and you still guarantee $15 an hour for working at Rat Burger. So, that's like I said, my daughter, she works at a place, and I mean, as a family, we greatly appreciated the fact that they started my daughter off at $15 an hour because, that allowed her to breathe and have some financial responsibility. And, so like I said, I understand, Rock. It goes both ways, man. But let me, you know what? Y'all always say things that lead me in another direction when it comes to these stories. But speaking of, because Sims mentioned foreign politics, speaking of that, let's talk about this shit. I seen this right here. If anybody doesn't know, Sean Penn is currently in the UK. I said in Ukraine. I'm sorry, making a documentary and a film about Russia's invasion on Ukraine. If people don't know, like I say on this podcast, ladies and gentlemen, we try to touch on any and everything, funny shit, hood shit, real shit, business, whatever. We're not just talking about everything hood related. We want to talk about some world economics and whatever, politics. But anyway,
I just have a question. 2 questions on this photo. Why Sean Penn look like he just hit a meth pipe? That's number 1.
He always looks like that.
Number 2, what's going on with Will Smith's forehead over there?
Oh, I mean, this is variety. Like I say, a lot of these things I see, I don't really get to cut and trim and make it all look cute. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Got that Stephen A shape up, don't it?
That's his bag of ants. He got his bag of ants. I don't even know what that's like. Some Star Trek shit. Yeah, that's called. He's still trying to hold on and escape that old age. He still got a better headline than mine. Will Smith doing way better than me.
Both of y'all need to let it go. Just go.
No, Will Smith still got it. He got a little bit of it. He still got a straight line. When your line starts going when it's good when it's going this way, but when it starts inverting, when it starts to invert, that's when you gotta let it go.
We must be looking at different pictures because that damn hairline, if he's saluting, that shit going up in the air, bro.
Well, I mean, it's not inverted though. It's still a line. It's still a line.
That's a 5 head though. There ain't no 4 head no more.
No, he got a 5. Yeah, he's on a 5. He's definitely on a 5.
So, as far as this whole Sean Penn joint, man, I don't want to use the word I don't care, but I don't care.
Hey, man. Well, I
saw
this shit earlier. Hey, you know what? I like you saying that, Rock. That's what I say when we talk about these dumbass stars and their issues. I give a fuck. But the Ukraine stuff, like that's a real. I don't understand how CNN got these reporters in the middle of these battles. Like, oh yeah, they around the corner. I'm like, hey, what are y'all? It's gonna take one of these fools to get shot. They gonna be like, what? I mean, it is unreal where these people at. And now you got this idiot out here doing a damn documentary. Hey, why?
I mean, when I say I don't care, I don't care about the whole Sean Penn thing, right? As far as the Ukraine, what's going on, and Russia, I said to my wife the other day because we talked about it. It's like I don't necessarily care that what's happening over there, but she made a good point in saying that listen, what happens is with war, whatever, is Russia then invades Ukraine, it takes over Ukraine, they build, and then they go to the next and the next.
Yeah, so you gotta care about that shit though.
Like in that regard, that's when it starts becoming, I care. And then I understand why we as the United States seems to always police the world.
Yeah,
because
Ukraine was just trying to join what hyped all this shit up was because they wanted to come to NATO anyway. And
Right.
In Russia.
And
Right, and
Putin was playing. He's like, "Y'all motherfuckers ain't going to NATO. We'll just invade you, motherfuckers. Like, we'll just take it over."
Yeah, and he said that if they join NATO, they would consider that an act of war.
Yeah,
actual Putins. And so, I've not been a part of the military. I'm nothing about the U.S. government, but from what I've noticed and seen, the U.S. deals a lot of preemptive threats. So if we feel like, well, not we, but if our government feels like there are things that at stake that could lead to eventual, anything against the U.S., they're definitely going to get involved. And right now, I mean, honestly, the people of Ukraine and society and human beings, they definitely deserve to be left the fuck alone. If they want to be separate from Russia, there's no reason for Putin to put 100 to 150,000 troops, on all sides of this country and boxing them in just to say, well, we ain't fucking with y'all. It's like, well, remember the old thing I don't know if y'all got siblings, but they used to put their finger like right at the tip of you. They wouldn't touch you, but they and you be like, stop touching me. And they'd be like, I ain't touching you, but this right there, that's what I feel like,
That's the bullshit, but that's what I don't like. That's what I hate about the world, period, dog. You put these people like Putin in some damn power, and literally all he wants to do is try to somehow remake the old USSR. So he wants to get all these countries back. But what I hate about it is you got all these people in power playing their little games, but it's killing the people in the damn countries. Dog. Like, I hated the reporter that was in the subway station. I mean, imagine it from our standpoint, dog. If there's some bombing going on and we all trying to find a place to be safe or whatever, you got all these people huddled in a subway station, like with their family and anything they could grab. I mean, that's real. That's reality, dog. Like, that's some bullshit. But it's just because this dude want to get some more land and something. Like, he just wants. I mean,
he wants to
dude in power that wants some shit. I mean,
he wants to stretch his muscle, and the crazy. And I was talking to my wife about this. I was like, in Russia or U.S. whatever, Russia, whatever's considered. This man became the president, I think, 2009, and rewrote the country's constitution and government so he could actually stay as the existing president, and all his competition and everybody who's opposed him is somehow just, disappeared. And
they done Hillary Clinton. They done got Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton.
Hey, he probably wrote that shit up sitting on the toilet too. He probably
And I was telling my wife, I was like, one thing about, even though people complain and they say all the crazy shit they do about, about America, at least we're one of those countries that as a country, we're not having that bullshit. No matter who you are, we will not let anyone.
Don't speak too soon, motherfucker, because just know there's a lot of people in this country that actually support what Putin's doing, and they're fucking idiots. Like that's literally like that's people that don't really know what democracy is.
They don't know anything.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying
they are. If you haven't watched this movie yet, they are the don't look up people.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But but one thing about this country, we still have enough of a voice where it'll take a hell of a lot for somebody to say, you know what, I want to be president for the next 20 years, and there ain't shit nobody else can do about it. We are one of those countries that people will say, well, we're gonna fight to.
Did you not see the last president? You don't realize that motherfucker just tried to take out. I'm telling you, this shit is more realistic in America.
No, man, yeah, but
he literally just ran a campaign to try to stay president. And
correct.
But
that shit ain't working.
It's happening here too, bro.
I'm just saying, it's a difference in it working.
Let me ask a question, because I just heard this and I didn't. Why does it seem that only Democrats, us as Democrats, we're always at war? Republicans come into office and they pull, troops and all that stuff. Why does it seem to be the case with?
With George, you got George Bush, Ronald Reagan.
Well, what I hate about the Democratic Party, man, is it's almost like if you got the friend that got your back and they'll fight, but then you got the other friend that's like, well, we shouldn't do that. We can get in trouble. they should apologize. I'm like, yo, man, fucking apology. But like Democrats do that apology shit. They always want things to be right. And then you have Republicans who go gang with it. They're just like, no, we're doing this. And they'll just change, they'll just do what the fuck they want to. And they'll all say the same shit. But Democrats will fight amongst themselves. These motherfuckers all get, if you ever think about it, even when old boy was in office, man, every show you looked at, they were all saying the same shit. It was like fucking machines saying the same thing.
That's the scariest thing about politics. But you know what? But the thing about that is because the idea of the democratic process is everybody gets a voice. And we all know that even in the military, not everybody gets a voice. If you're in a unit and you got a commander, if he say we marching this way, you going to fucking march that way. They don't take a vote on which way you're going to march.
There's still laws on in the UCMJ. If you at a time of war and you don't do what your unit do, they can technically kill your ass, dog. Like that's like you can't do that. Like you have to your officer tells you to do something, you need to do what the motherfucker said.
Yeah, so like I said, in a democracy, we've gotten to a point when the idea where everybody can raise their hand and everybody gives their opinion, and the best opinion is what we go with. We all know that doesn't always work. So, and like you said, that's the Democrats. The Republicans have their military mindset. Even if we go down, we all going to go down with the same idea and identity.
Too many motherfuckers got voices now without information. I mean, I get tired of listening to my. If you ever listen to these people that talk all this stuff, if you ever hear somebody that knows what they're talking about, talk to them and ask them real questions, they'll always evade the questions. You're attacking me, or they'll say shit like that, which means that they're just saying shit. We let a bunch of people that ain't got no qualifications have an effect on what the hell we think.
Hey, but I can tell you, we have become a more.
What was that dumbass chick? The girl with the big butt, Nicki Minaj, said dumb shit about COVID.
Oh yeah, testicle shrinking off the video, and they took her serious. Sims, they took her serious to the point where she had to come out and say herself, "I wasn't being." She was like, "That was shit wasn't even real. It was just something I heard." She had to come out just basically going to the nuts.
Just because this chick has a follower, she said some dumb shit about a cousin in another country.
And that shit ended up on CNN.
But listen, though, the president of that country had to literally make a statement for something that Nicki Minaj did.
Listen,
Nicki Minaj.
Not even that. Their actual Department of Health had to go looking for somebody who had shrunk testicles. They actually had to go. You actually had to waste taxpayers' money and time for that country and go into your Department of Health and Human Services and try to find a case in which somebody had lost their testicles through a vaccine.
That's where I have my pros and cons of social media. That falls in the cons. Because somebody that has a following can say whatever the hell they want to, and you don't understand that you're impressed. They literally call it followers because these motherfuckers follow everything you say. They sit here and talk like they know what the hell they talking about. Then you get somebody like me talking to your ass. I'm like, dude, what you're saying is stupid as hell. Hope you understand that.
And you know what? But that goes back to what I was wanting to say about the Sean Penn thing. One thing I do respect about Sean Penn is that he puts his celebrity aside and he actually goes and deals with whatever truth it is.
But he's still putting his celebrity up front.
Yeah.
Well, no.
I look at it like that. Like he's so
no. What I'm saying is
he's still Ronaldo.
What I'm saying is he still uses it in a manner where it's not, look at me, I'm Sean Penn. It's more of, I know what I can, what my name may be able to get me into certain places. It's like, it was a time, remember, Sean Penn was the guy who had the interview with El Chapo.
Hey man,
I mean,
after
that, El Chapo ended up getting arrested, but he was one of the people that
you talking about Sean Penn like he getting us in the club or something. Sean Penn was somewhere that I could give a damn about going. Oh yeah, I mean, Ukraine. Okay.
But like I said, I mean that's well, us for one as blacks, we really ain't concerned with too much of anything that really ain't involving our country or community. But it's for other people that are out there that may be misled or misguided by information. I'm not going to bash the man for going out there because at least he's willing to go put. What I'm saying is he's at the point where he doesn't even need to do that shit. He does it because he has feelings. Huh? He does have some feeling of humanity, man. You know, I ain't gonna shit on the man. I ain't gonna take a shit on him, but he does have.
I ain't gonna have no issues with it. I'm like, well, he deserved that shit.
No, I'll be like, what the fuck was it? Yeah, well, black folks automatically gonna say he shouldn't have had his ass out there anyway. If you, that's just what we say to anybody who do some dumb shit and they go down. He shouldn't have had his ass out there anyway.
Shouldn't have been out there being nosy.
Yeah. You was in somebody else's goddamn business. We are black folks who quickly tell you what's gonna happen to you from being in somebody else's business. That's for damn sure. All right, let's go into this one right quick. Because I'm burning up time. Well, I'm only 50 minutes in. This right here, Sims. I don't know if you heard about this one, fellas. Sha'Carri Richardson, she pointed out it was did you hear about this one, Sims?
Oh yeah. This shit pissed me off.
Well, we all know who Sha'Carri Richardson is, and she was a young black sprinter from the U.S. It was like maybe a year or two ago, but she smoked some weed and said she was grieving over some things that happened to her mom. Her mother passed away, and she had some marijuana in the system, and they would not let her compete in the track and field events in Tokyo. Because they said she was a banned substance of marijuana. Now, here it is in the Winter Olympics, and we have this young Russian figure skater, Kamila Valieva, and she failed a drug test for a banned substance that allowed your body to pump more oxygen or something like that. It's called tremetazide, I guess, tremetazide. But anyway, it's a stamina booster. It gives you more stamina, and it's a band-controlled substance. She's a current figure skater in the Winter Olympics, and the commission said that she will be allowed to compete, even though she failed a drug test using a banned substance. She's 15 years old. I think Sha'Carri Richardson was maybe like 18 or 19 at the time. And the U.S. itself, and this is another thing we talking about the U.S. The U.S. Basically just left her hung out to dry. The our U.S. Olympics team, track and fields left. Once the weed thing came out, they dropped her like a hot fucking skillet. But as you see, Mother Russia, they backed their skater, and this woman is still being able to compete. Let's see.
Bullshit of this, man. Like me personally, I didn't have an issue with old girl, Sha'Carri, whatever. Not been. If they tell you not to have it in your system, don't have it in your system. It's bullshit that Russia gets away with everything. Now we always treat Russia with kitty gloves for whatever reason.
Always.
So, like these motherfuckers, like in the Olympics before, they were like, "We're not gonna let Russia compete," but then they just changed their damn name and then they let them compete. I mean, it's stupid, dog. Like,
that was the slap in the face right there.
It's stupid as hell. So my thing is, both of them should not be able to compete. I don't give a damn that girl 15 or not. That means her parents probably. I mean, I'm not thinking the girl 15 and going to look at drugs. Yeah, either her coach or her parents are probably behind her having it in the system. But I feel like if a substance helps you when it comes, like even with weed, like say if her parent died and my parent died, but she smoked weed and it eased her, but I just dealt with it and I just went and did it myself, she would have an advantage on me because she took a drug that calmed her when I just had to try to deal with it and compete. So to me, you can still get an advantage even with smoking weed, whatever the fuck you do. But this other girl literally took a drug that directly shows it helps her. Like, I mean, there's nothing. The motherfucker said it helps.
It's a stamina increase. That's what it does. It's a drug that gives an increase in stamina. So you basically, you're going to feel like you can just, whatever you're doing, if you're performing at your top peak, you can maintain that peak for a longer time.
So, yeah, what can that conversation be about? Like, how do you let her compete? She literally taking a drug that directly shows she cheated. I mean, what else can we do? But no, we're going to let her compete.
People, double standards. We know that.
Yeah, it's fucking
because it was a black girl, and they got the little white ice princess, and she get to do all the shit she want. But you got a sister from the hood, and she had the motherfucking eyelashes that looked like they was dragging wind anyway. They looked like they was slowing her down the track events. She had the blonde. She looked like young Miami from the City Girls, and she was out there flossing. And people was dying to take her down. From the Olympics, it seemed like then she lost some tryouts and she lost some events in America, and then the Jamaican girls came out and smoked her.
Yeah, she looked fast at them Jamaicans got on the track. She was fast as hell that the Jamaicans hit the track. Woo.
Jamaican girls out there. But I think like everybody's saying, she definitely should have been allowed to compete. But like I said, I also blame the U.S. man. I believe that if our country and our staff would have stood behind that, but we know we wasn't because she was a young black girl from the hood. But if they would stood behind her and gave her the props and respected that she deserved at least a chance, then maybe she would have came out differently. But we all know what it is. No matter how much you point racism out to people around the world, they still know it exists. It's just people don't give a fuck. Kind of how y'all feel about the Ukraine thing with Putin. People look at that black people problems the same rate thing. Like, oh, it's a black girl from America couldn't compete because she smoked weed. They're like, we don't give a fuck. What does that got to do with us? Nothing. But we all know how it go, bro. We know how it go. Let's talk about break. Since we in our sports and racism bag. Let's talk about this here. We all know about Brian Flores.
Fuck the NFL.
We all know about Brian Flores, man. He was the head coach for the Miami Dolphins for 2 seasons, who came out and said that the NFL basically is still practicing racist job practices still after 75 or 72 or 68 or how many ever fucking years of football.
100 years of football, my friend. 100 years of football.
100 years of football, and it's still almost 20 years a slave. Or whatever. What's the name of him? 15 years.
12 years a slave.
12 years a slave and 100 years of football. Seems like it's still going on. But I guess you can look at this as a bright light. The Pittsburgh Steelers have given Brian Flores, even while he's currently suing the NFL, a job as a defensive coach. And if you don't know, to the people out there, not to the fellas on the podcast, but the Pittsburgh Steelers have a family that are the Rooneys. That's the family that owns or whatever ownership of the Steelers brand. And they were the ones that actually implicated the Rooney Rule. And the Rooney Rule was, for those who don't know, people who's not in the NFL, basically it's a rule of inclusion for people of minorities in the sport of the NFL to be, hired as coaches, assistant coaches, GMs, more than just players. Basically, that's what my 12 years a slave adage, if you didn't know where the fuck I was coming from with that. But the Rooneys basically instituted a rule that black, minority, whatever athletes, coaches deserve a chance for positions other than those on the field. And so Brian Flores, if you I don't know what fucking rock he was underneath, but he came out and said basically the Miami Dolphins and other NFL organizations as the New York Giants, the Denver Broncos, and I think maybe one more, but they basically have racial practices in their hiring of black or basically black coaches in the NFL. I think I just wanted to say, reading this, I appreciate what the Steelers have done by giving him a job, especially working for Mike Tomlin, who's isn't he the only active black?
Only black coach right now in the NFL.
There's a second. No, what's the name? Miami picked up another one. No, the Titans.
No.
Texas picked up a black quarterback.
Yes, sorry about that. Lovey Smith.
Lovey Smith, yeah. 2 of them.
Right. And so, 2 out of 16.
But at least we're embracing what they do. Like, I'm glad Tomlin said, hey, man, I'll give you a job. that's what the damn white people do, so we might as well do it our way. Shit. I mean, it's a hookup.
Right.
Yeah,
And Tomlin has been basically holding his position for 12 years now.
What's impressive with Tomlin, man, is Tomlin has never had a losing season.
Right. Never. And a Super Bowl championship. Doesn't he have a Super Bowl championship as well?
Yes, he has one.
So
he has one and went to 2.
So, and I just feel like, it's the saddest part about that is Brian Flores definitely deserves a job as a head coach. And shout outs to Pittsburgh for picking him up and giving him a defensive coaching position. But at the same time, they need to cut that. NFL still needs to cut that bullshit out, man, and let this man.
I don't know why we think just because time goes by, we're looked at differently. I mean, it ain't a thing, dog. Like everybody say, oh, it's 2022. I mean, motherfucker, the NFL still got white old owners. They gonna pick up whoever it's a microcosm of just the country in itself. When most white people own shit, and like they're the big owners, motherfucker. We see all the rappers, all that shit, but usually that label is owned by some rich white old motherfucker. I mean, this is the TV stations, until that foundation gets changed, we're always gonna be almost like the motherfuckers literally in the field on football. 70%.
That's what I said.
I mean, I agree with that, but we've come far enough, though, in my opinion, where particularly in these different sports and entertainment, we have to kick the fucking door in, right? You got the money, Jay-Z. You got the money, P. Diddy. You got the money. We know Dre got money, right?
Yeah.
They need. I mean, again, we can't tell somebody how to spend their money, but at the end of the day, kick the door in. All right. Byron Allen is up for the Denver Broncos, being sold. Kick the door in.
But a lot of problems people are having also with that is and I explain this even to my wife. People always have to realize that this is a league. It's a club that a bunch of like Simpson says, it's a bunch of old rich white men say, hey, let's form a club and we can let in the club who we want to let in the club. Now, the difference in that is, like I said, if they want to hire a bunch of black staff and players, but they don't want to allow other black ownership or people to be on that level of the club, that's when it's not more of a judicial thing. It's the people. Like I tell you, stop going to the game. Stop supporting the shit if you feel like it's a racist or something.
But it shouldn't be commissioner. It's almost like talking about Putin over the damn Russia. You have these motherfuckers that's like a commissioner, as we call it. The NBA commissioner is more accepted. Like that's because he has more, like he's obviously a better when it comes to inclusion. But then you got the fucking commissioner for the NFL that literally works for the motherfucking owners, but he works for the owners. Like he can't tell them. The thing is, if you're the Shield, which is the NFL, all these owners own their separate teams. It just seems like as a Shield or the NFL office should have more control if they wanted to over that, but they're not going to push back on billionaires, dog. Like these white guys.
But it goes a little deeper than that, though. The commissioner works for the owners.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what Sam was saying.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So the Shield isn't protecting the integrity of us. It's protecting the integrity of the owners.
Of the club. And that's what I mean. And that's what I was saying. It's the club.
Yeah. But that's how I said the world ain't changed now, because we can look at it. We can talk about what's going on right now. But the main thing I will always see as a blemish on the NFL is you literally had a dude during a protest that didn't have shit to do with none of y'all, and y'all fired that motherfucker when y'all found out he was trying to support black people.
Right.
Like, as soon as if Tebow kneeling all over the place, praying all over the place, all these motherfuckers do all this shit. But you find out that this dude, nobody even knew what he was doing. He was doing it on the side. Till somebody called him out. And then when he said what he was doing it for, they literally got rid of this guy. That's what I'm saying.
When you found out the truth, and when I say the truth of why he ended up kneeling due to a Green Beret or I forget the title of the
Yeah,
gentleman.
it was a Green Beret.
It was a Green Beret, right? Green Beret told him, it's more respectful for you to fall to a knee for your fallen, soldiers, for your fallen colleagues or whatnot. This is why you should do it. This means because what you've been doing is a slap in the face by just sitting on the bench and not acknowledging the flag.
Oh, okay.
So he was told, and from a white dude, this is more appropriate. This is what you should do. Even when you heard the truth, it did not matter.
Because you know why? Because white America took that as an affront to say, I'm a black man and I'm going to do whatever it is I want to do. And then it became more of a, it become more of a challenge to the institution.
But you had Trump say something about it. I mean, even the fucking president was saying something about it. But it was a bunch of majority white people who watch all that bullshit. And they was over there talking about, Kaepernick's disrespecting the flag. Fuck you, ain't even said nothing about the damn flag. It had shit to do with nothing. He didn't say nothing about the flag. He was saying specifically about police and black violence, like how many, which is a valid statistic. You can even check FBI records on that.
Hey, but you know what?
He was talking
and
about
this is what I mean by actually changing the thing. Remember, it got a chance with what was the Milwaukee Bucks or something happened. And their whole team decided they wasn't going to play a game. They just took
playoffs in the bubble.
Right. So like I said, it's a level of unity that has to come with this shit, or it's just a fucking lost cause.
What happens?
But you know what's funny? Well, I don't know if y'all heard this. I just heard this the other day. But when they said the NFL gave money towards it, they equated what that money was towards their budget. It was like 0.0000001 or something. Like that's the money they put towards. It didn't even do nothing towards what Kaepernick was talking about. It just random money they threw at something. I mean, it was still like hundreds of millions of dollars, which shows how much money.
They threw like $230 million towards the oppression or act or whatever you would call it.
Shit that nobody ever saw.
Correct. But here's what I was gonna say, man. I mean, when Kaepernick did his thing, I knew right off the bat, I was like, this dude right now is about to be blackballed for the rest of his life.
That's a damn shame that was what we thought too. Like I felt the same way.
I knew as soon as he did it, and the reason why is Mahmoud, whatchamacallit, Jackson, who used to play for Denver.
Yeah.
He was one of the first people that I saw do that. And he got railroaded right out of there. All right. And I'll even go as far as saying, you've never heard of this group anymore. The Dixie Chicks did the same thing. So I'll call it what it is. We're talking black, but we also got to say white. They did something against the flag. And as soon as you do that, you ain't heard the Dixie Chicks no more.
Yeah, but like I said, it becomes more of a people looking at it as a challenge to, and you can't say America because this is a country built up of minority. This is a country literally built on minority. It's not the whole country, but it's that whole
for free in there.
Right, for free, yeah, for free. But it's the vision of I hate to see like a conspiracy theorist, whatever, but it's the vision of what people what is want to be seen as America, which causes that. So anybody stands up and say, hey, this shit ain't what it really is. I'm going to show you what this shit really is. They're automatically going to be, demonized and put in some kind of box because, it's a big thing, man. And like I said, the NFL, they need. I'm glad Brian Flores did take the time to make the issue what it was. He could have just took his whatever job that was offered, like he said, and kept his mouth shut about that shit. But I'm glad that more and more people like him decide to stand up and say, yeah, like he kept saying, he wanted to change the culture.
This is also why I was hoping, and maybe one day in the future, if you're listening, Junior Gillette, I was trying to get him on the show, right? I wanted to get him on the podcast because he's faced a situation where whatever happened in Washington, he had a racial situation. I wanted him to more or less elaborate on it, but the man couldn't get a job. Now, I may be biased because he played on the Saints. To me, was probably one of the quickest off the ball to like the Bosa brothers. I mean, he quick off the ball end but could not get a job in the NFL because of whatever happened racially from Gruden and the rest of them, Schneider and the whole nine. He has like a $300 or $400 million lawsuit going on as well. I wanted him to more or less talk about it. And again, hopefully one day we can. But you're seeing a lot of this in regards to people waking up, and putting their job, suing the NFL, suing because you guys are discriminating based off of race, whatever the case may be.
I hate even when you say that word, like waking up, like when they say the term woke. All woke is motherfuckers that actually take the time to understand laws and policies and government and the structure of it. If you sit back and the people that have this money think that everybody that isn't in this rich area, they think we're stupid. They think we don't understand shit. So they think they should be able to say something. You just accept it.
Or do anything.
Around 900,000 people and all this shit where they lie, and just say what the fuck they think. But then they expect people just to eat it up and move on with it. But when you stop and be like, well, no, let me actually look into that. And then it's like, oh, they're acting woke. Oh, it's the woke culture. Like, what the fuck, dude? I'm a damn adult. Like, I'm a grown-ass man. What the fuck you talking about?
But Sims, you know what that is? Is because if people have to be classified as woke or awoke, then that means there is a large amount of people that are mentally sleeping. They're not following. They're following the story as far as how the story goes, but they're not actually following the details. People that follow the story but won't follow details.
I'll raise my hand to a situation. I love the NFL. I love football. Let me back.
Football, right? Football.
I love football. I love my team, just like Sims love his team. You love your team. I love the game of football.
Yes.
What opened my eyes to it was fucking ESPN a couple years ago. I'd probably say it had to be anywhere between 5 and 10 years. ESPN, someone over there, I don't know who cleared it, I don't know who approved it, but more or less had players coming out as though they were slaves. Right? So, and look it up again. We always tell you guys, don't just believe.
I remember you talking about this, like a draft.
It was a draft. It opened my eyes to where I started hearing players talk about, because I fell into that trap where players, people would be like, oh, but he's making $10, $20 million. But when you really break it down, peel the layers, that commercial where they were drafted, they were scaled, rulers out on them, they did everything that the slave master did to our ancestors.
But dude, that's the terminology of the league, though. Have you ever really listened to the terminology of the league, though? You got your owners, you got your players.
Yes.
It's a lot of comparisons.
So again, it started doing here where I was like, wow, really? And then I'm hearing the complaints, and I'm seeing the Brian Floreses, I'm seeing the Junie Collettes, I'm seeing Pac-Man Jones back in the day. I'm looking at all the stuff that now says, shit. It was a discrimination type thing going on.
The Colin Kaepernick, I don't know if you guys got to watch it, but his little documentary,
right?
He basically showed and people were hot about that. He actually compared like that, showing the draft and how it's actually done compared to how slavery was, and there was a lot of people that were heated because he actually did the slaves on the auction block and the players. He showed the whole thing, and people like, how dare he do that? And he actually showed it in his documentary that came out. But I would say, what better to get an insight on how the shit works other than people who've done it? If we as fans, we'll never really get to truly see what happens in the NFL, because we're fans.
Dude,
but for the players,
so I just want to read you, and this was back in 2017. ESPN apologized on Tuesday for a fantasy football segment of an auction draft where black players were sold to mostly white male bidders.
Mm.
I again want to know who the fuck approved this? Who the fuck said, "Oh, that's a great idea. Let's put this together. Oh my God, this is brilliant. Who did this?"
Hey, Brock, you know why? If you never identified with the act of being a slave in any capacity, you wouldn't even understand why it would be offensive. So you got to think about like you said, the mindset of the people who run these teams and owns this company, because that's what the NFL is basically. The people that developed and run this company, they are the same people who looked at their own employees, because you can't be a billionaire without employees. You got to have business. So these are the type of people that already have that increment in business and how they handle things already, to look at shit and situations and say, this is how I look at these people anyway. So when you show them a video, the level of sensitivity that you think they're going to have, they're not going to have it any fucking way. You know what I mean? Just because of how they conduct themselves normally. So, like I said,
NFL, we got to get to the ownership side, man, because one thing about that's been consistent in America since we get, like, dude, even coming up in school, we were lied to about Thanksgiving and Christopher Columbus. All that shit's bullshit, dog. That motherfucker killed. They. I mean, you got to use words like exterminated.
Right.
Damn Indians. They took the young kid, the daughters, sold them off for people to be able to have sex with them. I mean, it's a reality of Christopher Columbus, dog. So I mean, that's really what happened.
They're not ready to hear that. You know, listen, I look at stuff like that. That's the tale of Santa Claus.
Listen,
they're not ready to hear it. They filter it down to make it watered down to be the Santa Claus type.
We know in America that fantasy makes way more money than reality. We know that. We know that fantasy in America is starting to actually tilt slightly where reality makes money.
But think about it though. This is like all of us probably in school learned a lesson of Christopher Columbus and stuff. This was something that was established in the school system for us to be raised in it, to not give the pushback. You never learned about slavery. I didn't learn anything real about slaves until I took African American studies in college. Like that shit never came up when I was in high school, junior high. They never. It's like even and these people, it ain't like they were the slave owners and they still scared to talk about it. They like.
I mean, they still trying to remove critical race theory now, but critical race theory is becoming a big issue in politics.
Dude,
where they don't
critical race theory. Dude, critical race theory is the dumbest shit ever brought up, because critical race theory is only used in college. That shit is like it is literally a graduate level class. It ain't got shit to do with elementary schools. That's some bullshit that Trump threw out.
No, I'm just saying that.
Ran with it.
Right, but I'm saying is
critical race theory is real, because critical race theory pretty much says in every system in the country how we're pretty much looked at the way we're kind of like what we're talking about with football. We can be the best stars in the world, but the money is on with the owners. The owners get the money. They get that. That's the way it is. You getting $1 million contract, I'm getting a couple billion on the back end. You know what I'm saying?
And as long as the people that we can identify with, we can see them riding around in fancy cars and having pretty girls and jewelry and going to Disney World and shit, we equate that with success. But on a bigger note, it's nothing that's as far away from it as we can see. So, I mean, like I said, man, it costs, man. Sometimes we may have to turn the page and turn our backs to the shit until shit get right. But
fuck around and let me get rich and get a lot of disposable money. You're gonna see me walking around campaigning and pissing people off, bro. They're gonna be trying. Motherfuckers gonna have some kind of assassination attempt on me.
You can't tell too much of the truth, Sam. They'll find something on you.
Hell yeah,
you got that right.
Fuck, bro.
Man, that's what it is. But that's all I got, fellas.
Hit that TI joint.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm glad you said that. I'm sorry. Sometimes we get
TI and Godfrey. I know last week we talked about TI and it was garbage, but this week It's more or less to the fact where T.I.
his response.
Well, no, hold on. T.I. went on and closed the show after the star of the show, who the headliner was, aka Godfrey, had already did his stand up, did his bit, and then T.I. comes, who ain't no damn comedian, and starts doing his show.
And this is in Atlanta.
It's disrespectful.
It happened in Atlanta, and like Rod said,
Godfrey, after this dude did his set.
Huh?
Godfrey went on a podcast and he spoke on that. What were you saying, Sims?
Oh, I'm just asking a question. You saying that the Godfrey dude, he was the headliner, he did his thing, but then T.I. without no schedule or nothing just jumped up there and started.
Godfrey was performing at a comedy club, and this guy's been writing jokes, and he currently writes a lot of material. I don't know if you know, Nick Cannon has a daytime television show, but Godfrey is one of the executive. Huh? You didn't know that? Yeah, I mean it's doing pretty well. But Nick Cannon has a daytime television show, and the comedian Godfrey has he's one of the executive executive writers for his show.
We got to do a pause on this. I hate to steal what other people do, but we like Drink Champs. You said we got to give it up for Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon,
hustle man of the year.
What you want to say? That dude,
hustle man.
Tops.
Hey, and he
making money.
Yeah, I got some sympathy for him because I heard when his kids passed, like when they I hate hearing shit like that. I ain't never been a real. I'm you know what? I'm not against Nick Cannon. It's just I feel like it was. I kind of felt weird about him when he tried to go at Eminem with that fake ass battle. I was like, dude, this is the dumbest shit I've
seen. He had to defend his. He was defending. That was more of a man thing. He just had to defend his wife, man.
That's almost like saying that Mike Tyson said something disrespectful to your wife. You're just gonna be like, hey, Mike Tyson, we got to go fight, dog.
Mike Tyson might. It depends on the situation. If Mike Tyson is very disrespectful to my wife, in the sense where as a man, I got to do something. At least
picking up a garbage can.
Hey, at least she gonna respect me get knocked the fuck out. That's hey,
we gotta put it on the same level of Nick Cannon going to Eminem with a diss.
No, but listen.
That means you going with Mike Tyson in a live event in the ring.
This is what I'm saying. If Mike Tyson is disrespectful enough to my wife, where as a man, you got to say, you know what? This knockout, at least my wife is going to respect me.
Hold on, time out. So Mike Tyson, you out in public, you and your wife, Sims. Mike Tyson comes up to your woman, smacks her on the ass. Yo, hey, sweetie, give me some kiss. Grabs a titty. You just gonna sit there?
Oh no,
grossly disrespectful.
Y'all misunderstand me. Get what I'm saying. I'm gonna slap the shit out of Mike Tyson, and I'm dead. Hey, we dipping, babe. I'm gonna slap shit. I might run. I might slap shit and run. Hey, but all I'm saying is what Nick Cannon did was he went in an equal battle. So that's almost like you went in a rap battle with Eminem. That's like saying, okay, Mike Tyson did what you just said. I'm like, nigga, I'm gonna schedule a boxing event against you.
No, listen. First of all, if you slap Mike Tyson, I don't think you.
I'm gonna steal Mike Tyson. That's what I'm gonna do.
Even if you hit him, you're not gonna get that far. If you basically attempt to swing on Mike Tyson, at that point, you taking your life in your own hands.
He gonna hit you.
So
he might duck me too, but I might try to steal him. Like, oh.
So it's just certain knockouts that as a man you just gotta accept this is gonna be a knockout. That's what Nick Cannon and Mariah. He knew he was gonna take an L.
He been doing this thing.
Yo,
but let me get to this T.I. thing.
I love it. Go ahead.
Let me go. Yeah, this is T.I.'s response basically to what we're saying is Godfrey saying, like, look, you are a rapper, you're not a comedian. So to come on, even if we're in Atlanta, because I don't have the Godfrey clip queued up, but he said basically, even though we're in your hometown of Atlanta, he still feel it was disrespectful for T.I. to get on after he closed the show and do his set. So this was T.I.'s response. I don't even know
what you are failing to do is recognize someone who could be an ally, someone who could be an asset, someone who could add value, and you misrepresenting that as opposition. Bro, I'm not your opponent. You talking about, you know what I'm saying, you've been doing this and how long you've been doing it, and for somebody to come on after you a headline. Hey, bro, you know how many comedians it is out there rapping right now? You know how many comedians it is out there I've been rapping since I was 8 years old, bro. It took me 16, probably 20 years to goddamn get where I wanted to be. You dig what I'm saying? Now, if a motherfucker was to bring a comedian to an arena, the owner of the arena would to bring a comedian to that arena after I had done got through ripping my.
Well,
He
no,
lying. He lying because
Tip
a little bitch. So he lying, talking about if the owner was to bring a comedian out and let them rap or whatever. He lying. He lying.
Well, I mean that. Huh?
I said, what
well, I mean,
makes sense.
But Tip was, and that was the thing. It was a club in Atlanta. Tip was there, and the owner basically said, "Yo, you want to come up and do your thing? Once the show's over, you can come up and you know, we've been seeing little snippets of it. It's not comedy. It's more of storytelling in a sense where he's just dry snitching on himself. But
trying to be funny, which he's not.
Trying, right, but he's not. But you know, like I said, the man can do whatever he chooses. But I'm with Godfrey on this one. And this is what we say now. If Jay-Z, I'm not Jay-Z,
huh? I mean, T.I. full of shit though, because it reverse the roles. If T.I. is a headliner in Atlanta, he the last guy to rap. He ain't gonna let some motherfucker come up behind him and start rapping. I mean, come on, dog. That's disrespect. That's your event. So everybody else needs to go before you. You do your event, everybody goes home. You can't slide in on the stage behind a motherfucker that's it. That's his, as whoever you think you are. Godfrey's the headliner, that's his event. If he the headliner, that's his event. If he says that you can do that, that's one thing. If you just jumped your ass on the stage, it's disrespect. I mean,
when he was trying, what if the owner of the club said, "Yo,"
man, get fuck out of here, man.
So he says, "Well, what if the owner of the club say, "Yo, you my boy, I can't put you on before this guy because I already got people booked, but I can slide you. You can come on the end and do whatever you can do your thing then."
I'm still checking T.I. I'm gonna check that damn owner, but I'm gonna check T.I. because he know better. Correct. I know better than that. He should be. If anything, he'd be like, "Oh, you want me to go before him?" Like,
correct. Yo, let me go holler at Godfrey real quick.
Yeah.
Yo, Godfrey.
Okay. Yeah.
Godfrey, can I get in front of you like 5 minutes? You know, or hey, Godfrey, you know, want to do this? You know, you mind if I jump on at the end? Go talk to the man.
Yeah,
that's all. People, you pay dues. You pay dues for a reason, right? You don't just like he said. You know, he's been rapping since he was 8 years old. Blah 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 blah. My man, Godfrey's been doing this for years too. This is his profession. This is his craft. You're on his stage, right? Go approach that man as a man and say, "Hey, you know what? Can I get 5 minutes?" Because any up and coming rapper can't just, even if the owner gonna try to have you come at the end, that shit ain't gonna fly. They still go to T.I. Hey, you know what? This my dude right here.
My nephew. Yeah, this my nephew.
I want to give him 5 minutes. Can we get him? Yeah, no problem. I guarantee you, if they said, "Hey, I want to have him jump on after you," T.I., I ain't going on.
Hell no. What you talking
I ain't
about?
going on. That's exactly what happened. I ain't going on. So T.I. just, he's a dude that every now and then, man, he's a flip-flopping motherfucker, man. He just
pissed me off with that answer though, because he even tried to make it seem like he was benefiting the Godfrey dude. Like,
right. I could be an asset. I could be this to you. I could be that. Man,
yeah,
I've never heard a millionaire tell a guy who's not even worth the amount of money that he has, I could be an asset to you. Like he's trying to help his career out. Like it's nowhere that T.I. can go because Godfrey, I'm sure, does not have the money, but it's nowhere that T.I. Godfrey can go. They can say, hey, who's on your resume of people that I got T.I. is one of my guys. Call T.I. He can tell you I'm funny.
He gonna
like
be
it doesn't work.
You're doing sad about his ass.
It's just like
comedians, dog.
You know,
he do a whole set about his ass.
So that, like I said, I'm with you on that, man. Everybody wants to stay in their lane, and he only said how many comedians are rapping. Ain't but too many. Only ones really having success is Lil Duval. That's the only comedian making music that is actually selling to the point where you say he has some influence on what's going on.
That's a deflection debate, though, dog. That him saying that was taking it away from the point of the damn debate. He tried to get a whole conversation going this way. Nah, nigga, we talking about you getting on the stage. We ain't talking about other comedians. But ain't nobody talking about that. We talking about your ass coming up behind this dude. Like,
and not being funny.
Yeah,
and not being funny.
When I'm in debates, I don't let that happen. Niggas try to, you be debating one thing and they try to say C, D, and E. I'm like, nah, nigga, we know C, D, then bring that shit back to B, motherfucker. We A and B in this. And we try to don't deflect.
So you said about Godfrey's money, right? Godfrey's net worth is about $3 million. So he's got paper. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying on the level of which cheesy. I saying, well, if you say somebody, I can be an asset to you, that's saying that I can increase. Take you from where you are to another level by having me on your team. And I'm like, as far as comedy, as far as his advancement in comedy business, in business to the business of comedy, T.I. is nothing he can really do for that man.
Hey, next time I'm liking Rock with all these fact checks. Next time we have a quarterback, we need to catch him at the restaurant. When y'all get on Jimmy G's and all that shit, he's gonna be right there. Rock, give me the number.
No, so here's what I'm gonna tell you with that, man. Guarantee it, them Commander boys. The moment Jimmy G is a quarterback, because I have a feeling that's where he's going.
Hey,
he's gonna be in love with him. He can't do no wrong.
Oh yeah.
Rewind it.
So much shit.
They gonna because if you can love Fitzpatrick, how the hell you gotta love Jimmy G?
What about Russell Wilson?
Jimmy G Commander jersey gonna be right motherfucking here.
They saying Russell Wilson might be. I don't think he will do it, but they saying that they might be a buy for Russell Wilson out there to be having the Commander's jersey.
He's going to New York.
Yeah, why would Russell Wilson go to Washington?
He's going to New York. Let Sierra have her New York connects and all that stuff. That's what he's doing. That's where he's going.
He going to the Giants?
Yeah.
What? I don't know.
Mark it down.
Got a new coach, so hey, you never know what
mark
might
it down.
happen.
Like I said, I just watched. I was reading a little something in my little sports time where it was saying Houston. Was it Houston, Detroit, and the Seahawks having a 3-way trade where they can send. What was that?
What happened to what's the name, bro? Like we keep talking about all these quarterbacks. Where the fuck is Deshaun Watson?
That's what they're saying.
Like this nigga just not on the planet.
No, they said that it might.
Bro, the latest thing on him is everybody pleading the fifth. They don't want to. They not testifying in his depositions. So that dude's about to get off. I don't want to even call it off. He's going to be exonerated or whatever you want to call it, right?
Hey,
so
listen.
At the end of the day, man, one of the lawyers said, "Did you not know my client, Deshaun, liked to have fingers in his ass? Did you not know he liked to finish with a masturbation or you jerking him off? Did you not know this?" Yes, I knew.
This is in the trial?
This is it. Yeah, it's all deposition. Yeah. Did you not know this?
So all these women saying they knew that shit, but yet they try to
Correct.
Oh, what the fuck, man? So Deshaun, what the fuck, man?
Well, anyway, he might be going.
Get a consistent
they saying Deshaun might be going. Oh, I'm sorry, it was the Skins. They saying the Texans, the Skins, and the Seahawks will work. The Commanders will work in a trade where DeJuan Payne will go to Houston. Deshaun Watson would go to Seattle, and therefore bringing Russell Wilson to the Commanders. That was something I read that might be a possibility.
At this stage, we can't see nothing until March 16th. That's when everything goes down.
I know all y'all. I know what y'all don't want to happen. I better hope that goddamn Brady don't come to the 49ers, but that better be a rumor. That better be a straight rumor.
I'm hearing Brady and I'm hearing Rodgers.
Hey, you better hope neither one of them motherfuckers come. Hey, and don't let this is for you, Dan. This is gonna be worse than Garoppolo going to Washington. Don't let Rodgers come to the 49ers and get the Super Bowl. Oh boy. Hey,
if he breaks my heart,
I have a 49er Aaron Rodgers jersey right there.
And you know the worst thing? That's gonna be just as bad as how Brett Favre went to Minnesota. If they pull one of those bulls, that's some back-to-back bullshit. If Brett Favre goes to Minnesota and then Rodgers turns around and goes to the 49ers, oh my God.
Green Bay can't hold on to their quarterbacks, bro.
Well, we hold on to him for like 17 years. That's a tight grip.
Quit letting y'all hoes run wild, bro. Keep them in the damn house.
Oh man, listen, we hold on to our hoes for about 17 years. That's a pretty good goddamn hoe. But I don't know. I don't even want to get into the Green Bay, because everybody's throwing this and that. Rodgers, everybody throwing jabs. He might stay. We don't know to the 16th of March. But anyway, fellas, thank you for tuning in. Sorry Don and Step couldn't make it through technical difficulties, but fuck your opinion, family. He was on here, but like I said, that's how it is, bro. Anybody who watched this show and been watching it from the beginning know. For
he doing a Ben Simmons, dog. Steph doing a Ben Simmons. He waiting until after the 16th so he can see who his quarterback gonna be.
And then he come in, then he's stepping in.
Yeah, he trying to hold out right now. Trying to stay in he ain't gonna dodge me forever.
Yeah, and that'll be funny if Step the Lover returns March the 16th in full with the jersey on though. We got to make a rule for when we talk to Step. I'm gonna tell him and say, look, if you return March the 16th, whoever your starting quarterback is for the Commanders, you have to do a podcast with that. If Jimmy G, if number 10 for the Commanders come March 16th is a jersey, you must wear it. That's going out to Step the Lover. I'm sure you're gonna see this. But like I said, once again, thank y'all brothers for joining me. Hopefully next time we can get Rock. I can't remember the brother's name, but
Junior Gillette.
Yeah, we can get Junior Gillette on here because it's like I said, these are topics that are always going to be on the table. It's not just football season. This is things that are everyday life, man. It's things that we deal with as people, and always to have somebody come in and jump in on the panel and explain and give us better details. This shit's worth it.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about erectile dysfunction too, fellas. I mean, we're going to talk about it.
Oh, shit. Hey, thank y'all for coming in, man. Hey, thank everybody for watching. Check us out on Fuck Your Opinion, the podcast, PYO pod on all streaming services. Just go into your fucking search engine, type it up, check us out. We out. Peace.
I'll let y'all.